Are you ready for a little bit of speed? And are you ready for 2 world championship winning nations to be crowned? Let's do it.
A track relay team is not always the sum of its parts. Sometimes it is something greater. At Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, during the 2022 World Athletics Championships, that truth came to life. Under the bright sunlight, surrounded by a roaring home crowd, 4 young American women wrote one of the greatest stories in relay history. This is the story of how they shocked the world.
That's Udo Gabriel who will kick them off. This is Germany in lane 7.
They made the podium last time they hosted the World Championships. That was 2009. They got bronze. They made the final of the last 4 Olympic Games.
That's Tatiana Pinto. She'll start it off. Asher Phillip for Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
One of the teams that I have on the podium, the silver medalists behind Jamaica at the last World Championship. They've gotten bronze medals in the last 2 Olympic Games.
Here's Team Jamaica, Kimber Nelson.
I knew she'd get a nice ovation. She's an Oregon Duck. The rest of the team are the same 3 that got the gold last year in the Olympics.
Spain is in lane 4.
Spain is making their first appearance at Worlds in this event since 2011. They were second in their heat in a national record.
And Melissa Jefferson not fazed by the huge roar. She's in the zone.
Here is Italy in lane 2. They were 7th at the last World Championships, but didn't get out of the heat at the Olympic Games.
And the final nation and team to meet is Team Switzerland in lane 1.
Kambunji, who made the finals in both the 100 and the 200, will run their second leg. They were 4th in this event at the 2019 World Championships. That's their best ever finish at Worlds. They were 4th at the Olympics as well. Both the U.S. men and women's teams are running exactly the same orders as they did in the heats, with one exception, this one. Abby Steiner has been brought in to replace Aaliyah Hobbs, and Aaliyah Hobbs is already on social media saying, the only reason I couldn't go to relay camp and why I'm not in the final is because I got COVID. So one change for Team USA. TT Terry will anchor. Prandini will handle third, as she did yesterday, masterfully. Steiner on second, and this young woman, Melissa Jefferson, the U.S. champion, will lead off.
Last US world title in this event, 2017, London. Women's 4x100m relay final, let's go. Team USA, lane 3.
Jamaica off to a very good start, so is Great Britain, but look at Melissa Jefferson destroy first leg.
Makes the change to Abby Steiner, and Steiner is off.
That's Elaine Thompson-Herah down the backstretch for Jamaica, but the U.S. is there. Great Britain is still there as well.
Jenna Prandini of California has the stick now. Prandini on the inside of Jamaica. Oh, and Great Britain's in trouble.
The U.S. will hand off first, but Shericka Jackson.
It's TT Terry and Shericka Jackson. Here comes Jamaica running the United States down. Can Twanisha Terry hang on? You betcha she can. Team USA world champions. TT Terry runs them home.
Payback for the U.S. team over Jamaica. They've lost to Jamaica at the Worlds and the Olympics, but Team USA come defend the home soil and get it done.
In a world-leading time for 2022, TT Terry, Jenna Prandini, Abby Steiner, and Melissa Jefferson, world champions for Team USA.
It all began on July 22nd. The first round of the women's 4x100m relay set the stage for what was to come. In Heat 1, Jamaica entered as the overwhelming favorite. With Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and Shericka Jackson on their roster, they carried a legacy of dominance and gold. They cruised through the race with smooth baton changes and clocked 42.37 seconds. But in front of them, Great Britain delivered a polished performance, finishing first in 41.99 seconds, the fastest time of the round. Germany followed closely in third, and all three advanced to the final. Jamaica looked strong, but the real fireworks were waiting in the next heat. In Heat 2, the United States stepped onto the track with a young and hungry squad. Melissa Jefferson, Abby Steiner, Jenna Prandini, and Twanisha Terry were not yet global medalists, but they had something else: belief, chemistry, and determination. Jefferson blasted out of the blocks with explosive power, running her first 100 meters in 11.44 seconds. She handed the baton cleanly to Abby Steiner, who attacked the backstretch with fierce energy and recorded an impressive split of 9.91 seconds. Jenna Prandini held the lead through the curve, and the anchor carried them home in a blazing time of 41.56 seconds. It was the fastest of all qualifying teams, a clear warning to the rest of the field. The crowd at Hayward Field could feel it. The Americans were ready for something special. The next evening, July 23rd, the air in Eugene was electric. 8 teams lined up. 8 batons waited for destiny. In lane 5 stood Jamaica, the reigning queens of sprinting. In lane 3 stood the United States, the challengers. No one expected to win. The crowd fell silent. The starters pistol fired. The battle for gold was on. Melissa Jefferson exploded from the blocks, driving hard through the first 100 meters. Her split was an incredible 11.35 seconds, slightly faster than Jamaica's opening 11.45. As she handed the baton to Abby Steiner, the stadium erupted. Steiner ran fearlessly down the backstretch. She surged past Elaine Thompson-Herah, one of the greatest sprinters in history, and clocked a sensational 9.86 seconds. In that moment, the American crowd found its voice. Team USA had the lead. Jenna Prandini kept her composure on the third leg, maintaining the rhythm through the curve with a smooth and controlled 10.05 split. The exchanges were clean, crisp, and perfectly timed. The baton reached the anchor Twanisha Terry, with the United States slightly ahead of Jamaica. Shericka Jackson, the newly crowned world 200-meter champion, charged after her. She was closing the gap, running a blistering 9.66 anchor split. But Terry held firm, her arms pumping, her eyes locked on the finish line. The crowd roared as both anchors thundered down the home straight. 50 meters to go. 40. 30. The noise was deafening. Both women leaned at the line, and when the clock stopped, the stadium exploded. The United States had done it. 41.14 seconds. A world lead, and a moment of pure American glory. Jamaica finished just 0.04 of a second behind in 41.18 seconds. Germany claimed the bronze in 42.03. But it was the United States, the young, unproven quartet, who stood at the top of the world. As the crowd erupted, emotion filled the air. Tears, smiles, pure disbelief. Abby Steiner could barely contain her excitement. She said, "This is the most fun race of my life. Hayward magic is real." Melissa Jefferson added, "It wasn't expected of us today, but we showed the world what we are capable of." And Twanisha Terry, who anchored the team to victory, said, "The stadium went crazy. The victory lap was amazing. We just brought it home." That night, it wasn't about records or reputations. It was about trust. It was about teamwork. It was about 4 women who believed in each other. They were not the favorites. They were not the most decorated, but they were fearless. And they were perfect when it mattered most. Melissa Jefferson, Abby Steiner, Jenna Prandini, Twanisha Terry, 4 names forever linked by one number, 41.14. Because when the baton moves cleanly, when the trust is unshakable, and when the heart runs faster than fear, the result becomes greater than the sum of its parts. 41.14 seconds. One team, one dream, one golden moment. The United States World Champions. This is Hayward Magic. This is 41.14. This is history.